Disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, or security advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any financial decisions. Crypto investments carry risks, including loss of capital.
Okay, so are you ready to dive into the crazy world of crypto?
Always ready.
Well, good, because we've got like a ton of recent news and analysis to go through.
That's all good.
Buckle up. This one is a roller coaster. We're talking like $1 trillion gone, just gone.
Yeah.
From the crypto market since December 2024. That's wild, right? Like imagine the entire value of Apple. Poof.
It's definitely been a dramatic period, and I think what's really interesting about this particular crash is how closely it's tied to the global economy as a whole. We haven't really seen this level of interconnectedness before.
Yeah, okay. So let's get into the headlines. First up, Bitcoin, down 25%, and Ethereum, even worse, 40%. Two names you'll be hearing a lot about today.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that crypto has always been volatile. You know, ups and downs are part of the game. But this time it feels different. It's like the crypto market is almost mirroring all the anxieties of the global economy.
Right. And speaking of anxiety, how about the Bybit hack? $1.5 billion gone, stolen from a crypto exchange.
Yeah, and for those who might not be familiar, a crypto exchange is basically like a digital marketplace. You go there to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
But they could be vulnerable to these kinds of attacks, as we've seen.
So this Bybit hack,
Yeah.
the Lazarus Group is suspected to be behind it, which is a big deal. What makes them so concerning?
Well, the Lazarus Group is believed to be connected to North Korea, and this suggests a trend of state-sponsored cybercrime, possibly targeting the crypto world.
Yeah.
That adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Okay, so remember when Trump got back into the White House?
Yeah.
Everyone thought that would be good for crypto. Lots of optimism around his perceived pro-crypto stance.
Right. There was a lot of hope there. But then Trump implemented those new trade policies, like remember the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada?
Yeah.
And those policies, they actually ended up fueling a lot of economic uncertainty.
So instead of a boost, it was like the opposite happened. Trump's policies scared investors, leading to a massive sell-off. We even saw record outflows from Bitcoin ETFs.
Exactly. Something like $1.1 billion pulled out in a single day. It shows you just how sensitive the market is to these global shifts.
Okay, so let's talk about the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? They regulate the financial markets.
Right.
And they haven't always been crypto's biggest fan. But here's where it gets interesting. They're dropping lawsuits against Binance and Coinbase, two of the biggest crypto exchanges. So what's going on? Are they going soft on crypto?
It's a significant change, for sure. On the surface, it might look like they're moving towards deregulation, but I think it's more nuanced than that. They're also forming a new crypto task force to, rewrite the rules of the game, so to speak. So it's less about being soft and more about recognizing that we need a new approach.
So is the SEC trying to, stifle crypto, or are they actually trying to protect investors in this crazy, volatile market?
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest. The crypto world is pushing boundaries, and regulators are struggling to keep up.
It's like a high-stakes poker game where the rules keep changing.
Exactly. Everyone's trying to figure out what the best strategy is.
And speaking of strategy, let's look at what's happening in Argentina. Talk about wild. Their president, Javier Milei, he endorsed a cryptocurrency called Libra, which, usually a presidential endorsement lends legitimacy.
You would think so, yeah. So what happened?
Well, Libra crashed pretty much right after his endorsement. Investors lost over $250 million. And now there are allegations of a rug pull scam.
Okay, hold on. What's a rug pull?
Okay, so imagine like a bustling marketplace, right? And there's this amazing rug that everyone's talking about. Beautiful, valuable, everyone wants it. Suddenly, the rug dealer just yanks it out from under everyone, takes all the money, and disappears.
Whoa.
That's basically what a rug pull is in the crypto world. You artificially inflate the price, get people to invest, and then you pull out, leaving them with nothing.
And in this case, the accusations are directed at a sitting president.
Oh.
What does the Libra scandal tell us about the state of crypto, especially somewhere like Argentina? Well, it definitely raises serious questions about the role of government officials in this space. And how easily investors can be swayed by endorsements. It really highlights the need for, proper regulation and investor protection, especially in these emerging markets.
Yeah, it seems like scams are just everywhere in crypto. Remember that BBC broadcaster, Nick Robinson? His social media got hacked to promote a fake Trump-endorsed cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah. Today. A classic pump and dump scheme.
It just shows you can't even trust seemingly trustworthy figures. They could be promoting scams without even knowing it.
Exactly. You really have to be vigilant in the crypto world. Critical thinking is key.
Okay, so back to the big question. Can Bitcoin still hit $500,000? I mean, with all this market turmoil, we've got Standard Chartered Bank making that prediction, but then we've got this current bearish market sentiment.
Yeah. It's a tough one to call. The crypto market is notoriously difficult to predict. There are factors that could drive Bitcoin's price up. New institutional investors, favorable regulations, wider adoption.
Right. And what about Texas's proposal to create a state-owned Bitcoin reserve? Could that change the game?
That's a fascinating development, for sure. It's essentially proposing to use Bitcoin as a hedge against, federal instability and diversify their reserves.
It's a bold move, but definitely controversial. What could it mean for the U.S. dollar? Could this start a trend? Other states adopting crypto? Could we see states challenging the U.S. dollar with their own digital reserves?
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And it raises questions about the future of finance and where crypto fits in. It's interesting that Texas is framing this as safeguarding their financial autonomy. It shows you how much they believe in Bitcoin.
It feels like everyone's trying to figure out where crypto belongs.
Yeah, for sure. We're in this weird transition phase, right?
Yeah.
The old and the new are clashing.
Yeah.
It's messy and unpredictable, but man, it's fascinating to watch.
So, okay. We've got Bitcoin maybe hitting $500,000, states creating their own Bitcoin reserves, and of course the SEC trying to figure out how to regulate all of this. It's a lot to take in. What should our listeners be paying attention to right now? What stands out to you as the most important takeaway from all of this?
I think the most important thing is to remember that this is still a very young technology, right?
Sure.
It's volatile, it's risky, and it's constantly changing. But it also has the potential to be transformative.
So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Do your research and buckle up.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't just about buying and selling digital coins. This is about a fundamental shift in how we think about money, value, and control.
You mentioned earlier that Ethereum is also facing scrutiny from the SEC. Can you talk more about that? How could that impact its price?
Right. So the SEC is looking into whether Ethereum should be classified as a security. And if it is, it would mean much stricter regulations, which could definitely impact its price negatively. Some analysts think Ethereum could fall below $2,000 if that happens.
So there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Ethereum. What are the key factors that could determine if it thrives or, fails under these potential regulations?
I think it all comes down to how the Ethereum community adapts. If they can find ways to comply with the regulations while still maintaining the core principles of, decentralization and innovation, then I think they could weather the storm. But if the regulations stifle its growth and development, it could be a real problem.
It sounds like the stakes are pretty high for Ethereum and really for the whole crypto space. What should investors be watching for as these regulations develop?
Well, they should definitely pay attention to how the SEC's investigation into Ethereum plays out and, how that shapes the regulatory framework. They should also be looking at how the Ethereum community responds and adapts to potential new rules. Their ability to innovate within the bounds of regulation, that'll be key.
So let's circle back to the risks, especially for those new to crypto. We've talked about scams and, being skeptical. But what specific advice would you give to someone just starting to explore crypto investments?
I'd say start small, diversify your investments, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. That's rule number one.
Right.
Also, do your research. Understand the technology behind each cryptocurrency you're considering. And be wary of anything that promises guaranteed returns. Knowledge is power in this space. The more you know, the better you'll be at navigating the risks.
What about security? We talked about the Bybit hack. What can people do to protect their crypto from cyber attacks?
Yeah, security is huge. It's essential to choose reputable exchanges and wallets that prioritize security measures.
Okay.
Use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, be careful of phishing scams, and if you're holding significant amounts of crypto, consider using a hardware wallet. They offer an extra layer of security.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from that $1 trillion crash to state-backed Bitcoin reserves, and of course, individual investors navigating all the risks. It's a lot. How can our listeners stay informed? How do they stay ahead of the curve in all of this?
Staying informed is so important in this space. Following reputable news sources, industry experts, engaging with the crypto community through forums or social media, that can all provide valuable insights. It's also crucial to develop a critical eye. Not everything you read about crypto is going to be accurate.
So you're saying it's not enough to just, read stuff. You have to analyze it and form your own opinions.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to, question things, challenge assumptions, seek out different perspectives. The crypto world is full of passionate people, so engage in those debates. It'll help you develop a deeper understanding of this stuff.
It sounds like the crypto world thrives on that constant dialogue and exchange of ideas.
Absolutely. It's a community-driven space.
Yeah.
The more perspectives you can gather, the better you'll be at making informed decisions.
Okay, so we've explored the highs and lows, the risks and rewards, and the potential for both transformation and disruption. But for the average person who isn't, a tech expert or a financial whiz, how can they make sense of this world?
I think the key takeaway is that crypto isn't a fringe thing anymore. It's evolving so rapidly and has the potential to impact our lives in huge ways, whether we're actively investing or not.
So even if someone isn't rushing out to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, they should still be paying attention.
100%. Crypto is influencing everything, from finance and technology to art and gaming. Understanding the fundamentals of blockchain, cryptocurrencies, that's becoming more and more important for everyone.
It sounds like crypto is more than just an investment. It's like a cultural and technological shift that's changing everything.
Precisely. It's a movement challenging traditional systems and empowering individuals in new ways. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, the key is to stay curious, stay informed, and be prepared for a wild ride.
Speaking of a wild ride, let's go back to the SEC for a second. They've been in the news a lot lately with their actions against certain crypto projects. What's their overall stance on crypto, and how is that evolving?
Their stance has definitely been evolving. Initially, they were pretty skeptical, focusing mainly on protecting investors from fraud. But as crypto has grown and become more mainstream, they're trying to find that balance between, encouraging innovation and protecting investors.
So it's a tough balancing act for them. How are they approaching this, and what does it mean for the future of crypto regulation?
They're taking a multi-pronged approach, issuing guidance, conducting investigations, and taking action against projects that violate laws. They're also talking with industry people to better understand this complex ecosystem and develop appropriate regulations.
It's like a game of cat and mouse between the regulators and the innovators.
That's a great way to put it. The industry is constantly pushing the boundaries while regulators are trying to keep up and establish clear rules. I think that dynamic will probably continue.
Now, shifting gears a bit, remember that story about the BBC broadcaster Nick Robinson? His social media got hacked to promote a fake Trump-endorsed cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah. The Today thing. It was a classic example of a scam, exploiting people's trust in a well-known person and, their desire to get rich quick.
It highlights the importance of verifying information and being cautious, especially in the fast-paced world of crypto. What other scams should people be aware of, and how can they protect themselves?
Well, you've got your pump and dump schemes like the Today incident. But there are also phishing attacks, fake ICOs, those initial coin offerings, and Ponzi schemes disguised as, investment opportunities. To stay safe, people should be wary of any unsolicited investment offers, always verify information through multiple sources, and be very skeptical of any promises of guaranteed high returns.
So basically, do your homework, be skeptical, and don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes. Are there any red flags people should watch out for when they're exploring crypto investments?
Definitely. Look out for projects with no clear white paper or team information, any promises of unrealistic returns, pressure to invest quickly, and lack of transparency about the technology or operations. Those are all big red flags. Always remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Good advice. So we've talked about scams, security, the SEC, and, the wider impact of crypto. It's a lot. What are your final thoughts for our listeners as they navigate this crazy world?
I'd say approach crypto with a balanced perspective. It's revolutionary, but there are risks. Stay informed, stay curious, and never stop learning. The crypto world is constantly evolving, so the more you understand, the better equipped you'll be.
Those are some wise words to end on. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights. I know I've learned a lot, and I'm sure our listeners have too. It's been great having you. I feel like I've learned a ton. So as we wrap up this crypto deep dive, what's the one thing you really want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think it's this. Crypto, It's more than just a speculative investment. It's not just about trying to get rich quick. It's a fundamental shift, like a whole new way of thinking about money and value and control.
So it's bigger than just the price of Bitcoin or whatever the latest altcoin is.
Exactly. It's about the technology and how it could change, well, everything, really.
You were talking about blockchain technology before, the foundation of all this, how it could revolutionize like every industry, not just finance.
Right. Think about it. Supply chain management, healthcare, even voting systems,
Yeah.
digital identity, all of that. Blockchain could change it all.
So even if someone's not interested in buying crypto, they should still be paying attention to blockchain.
Definitely. Blockchain is a game changer. We're just starting to see its impact. Whether you're into tech, business, or, just someone who wants to understand the future, it's important to understand this stuff.
It feels like we're at this turning point where this new technology is like challenging all the old systems.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. We're seeing a new era unfold, and crypto and blockchain are leading the way. It's a journey, that's for sure, full of, ups and downs and challenges, but also incredible opportunities.
What would you say to the people who are still on the fence about all of this, like the ones who are still skeptical?
I'd say don't just dismiss it. Do your research, look at different viewpoints, form your own opinions. Crypto might not be for everyone, but it's not going away. Ignoring it would be like, ignoring the internet back in the 90s.
So stay curious, stay informed, and be open to what's possible, even if it seems a little overwhelming at first.
Exactly. Crypto's always changing. There's always something new to learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Challenge those assumptions. Engage with the community. You might be surprised by what you find.
That's great advice. Thanks again for joining us for this crypto depth dive. It's been wild, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this again soon as the story continues to develop.
It was my pleasure. Until next time.
And to all our listeners, stay tuned for more deep dives into all the fascinating topics that are shaping our world.
If this video helped, hit the like button, subscribe for more crypto content, and I'll see you in the next one.